Hi guys, it's Miss Young here. So today in writing, we're going to be talking about using your reading strategies to help you when you're reading a poem to figure out words and what's going on in the poem. Today we're going to be reading a poem called Bud by Christine O'Connell George. A tiny velveteen satchel, the color of pale cream, is perched on the tip of this bare branch. Snap open the clasp, and you will find, inside this tiny valise, one rolled and folded neatly packed leaf. I'm going to read it one more time. I want you to kind of make a picture in your mind. So kind of close your eyes if you need to and think about what I'm reading. A tiny velveteen satchel, the color of pale cream, is perched on the tip of this bare branch. Snap open the clasp and you will find, inside this tiny valise, one rolled and folded neatly packed leaf. So the title of this poem is Bud. This poem is actually about a bud on a tree, right? Or, a tree in this case, perched on the tip of this bare branch. Velveteen satchel. First off, let's use our thoughts here. Velveteen. Are there any words in there that we recognize? You might recognize the word velvet. Velvet is a very soft material, right? So it might be a soft bud they're talking about. A satchel. A satchel is a synonym for a bag, right? Something to carry something. So a tiny, soft bag, right? Yeah, the color of cream, holding this little bud, perched on the tip. They could have just said is on the branch, but they used some words to help you picture it in your mind. Snap open the clasp, and you will find inside this tiny valise. Now, valise, that's a word you might not know what it means. Miss Young wasn't sure at first what it meant. But if you read back, it says a tiny velveteen satchel. And then now it says snap open the clasp and you will find inside this tiny valise. So that would lead me to believe that valise is another word for some type of bag, some type of container. And if I look over here, a valise is another word for a small traveling bag or a suitcase, which makes sense because up here they talked about a satchel. So inside this tiny valise, one rolled and folded, neatly packed leaf. So really, all this poem is about a bud on a tree, but they described it to us in a way that made it something else. It made it a bag. It made it this pale cream little container that's carrying around this leaf. Today, when you're writing a poem, I want you to try to write a poem, and when you're working on your poem, try to think about taking an object that is everyday. Maybe it's a bowl, or maybe it's a shoe, and turning it into something more than it is. Because this simply could have been like, the bud is soft, the bud is cream color, the bud holds a leaf. But they painted this picture and made it almost sound like a song. So I want you to see if that's something that you can do today when you're writing.